welcome to From the Ground Up. I'm Bianca Miller-Cole, and today we're going to be talking about social media. Social media. We're all talking about it. We're all probably experiencing it on a day-to-day basis. But whether you like it or not, it frames quite an important part of any good business marketing strategy. And I kind of have a love-hate relationship with social media. I love most of it. Sometimes I don't like the fact that I need to post, and I know I need to post on a daily basis because I'm busy and it doesn't always align with what I want to do, but I know the importance of posting on a regular basis and posting consistently, which is why I really built social media into this new rebrand and relaunch. I think it's a really important part of us sharing the journey of starting the business, of course, from the ground up and all the trailers and so on for the episodes and encouraging you to come and watch, but also from a business perspective, sharing what the business does, why it was created, who it was created for, and how it will help them. The best way I found to do that is on social media, because you have an opportunity to interact directly with your target demographic and target audience. And if you already have an audience, already have a community, then it's even easier because you already have that ready-made community that you can interact with and you can share with them the journey that you are on. So if we take it back and we think about this new brand that I'm creating, why is social media such an important part of that? Well, as I said before, I think social media is so important to enable you to communicate the vision, the mission, the brand, and what it does. Not just from your own perspective, not just you speaking to camera, not just you speaking to an audience, but also getting those testimonial videos, getting those testimonial, written testimonials and text messages and screenshotting them. All of that is great marketing collateral, great assets for social media. And it's a great way to showcase your brand and your product. So I decided, and it wasn't an easy decision actually, I decided that for probably the first time in my business career, I needed to take on a social media management team that would also manage my personal social media. I know. And I say it's not an easy decision because for the last 10 years, I've taken a decision that all of my personal social media would be fully managed by me. I love interacting with my audience. I love getting DMs and responding to them. I love the comments. I love the story. I love all of it, right? And I want to continue to do that, but I'm also conscious that consistency is important and that I need experts on site to help me with posting on a regular basis, with thinking of content to post, with editing that content and getting it out on time. When I say on time, I mean on time aligned with the scheduled times that my audience are most engaged, right? I needed help with that. And so I looked to Fiverr and I found lots of social media management companies and individuals who could help me manage my social media, all of varying price points and so on, and different options that they provided. And so I had to think about who I wanted for my team to help me elevate the brand so that they were a complementary part of my social media development as opposed to just full on doing it all for me. So what I mean by that is I want to continue to engage with my audience. I want to continue to answer DMs. I want to continue to post stories, but I also want a team on board who can help with regular posting, who can do all the editing, who can get things out on time, who can do that work for me as well. So I started doing all the interviews. I spoke to a few people, and some people, and I think this is important for you to note, some people are specialists in particular social media platforms. Now, as part of this journey, I decided to launch my TikTok. I've never had TikTok before, and I thought it's time. It's time for me to start my TikTok. And so I have found a company, a social media management team, MGX Media, who are able to provide me with that full suite of support across TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn. Did I add them all? I think so. right? And they're able to help me with creative and assets to create, to post on all of those platforms, and helping me with the content arrangement, the posting schedules, and all of that good stuff. And that is what you need sometimes. Although you want to be authentic in your brand delivery, you still need the help to make it happen. So I've been working with the MGX Media team, so Farial and Mark and Danielle, and we've been working together to make sure that I have different assets to go out at different times on each of those platforms. And it is a work in progress. I won't lie to you and say it's easy. I am not great. I'm great at delegation. I'm not so great at just handing over my social media saying, hey, get on with it, because my authentic personal brand is really important to me. I want to make sure when things go out, it is really me. It sounds like me, it's what I would say, and it's what I'm happy for the world to hear me say, right? And so I have been micromanaging a little bit. I have been making sure I want to see the content calendar in advance. I want to know what's going out and when, and I don't think that's a problem. Now, you might be slightly more hands-off. You might decide that you're happy for them to take the ship and steer it, okay? And that is entirely up to you. And so you have to make a decision and a judgment on how much control you want to relinquish to someone else and how much you want to retain. And so I've been working with the team to really strategize about the future of the brand. And again, social media management, a bit like SEO, is one of those things that you will need to have consistently on a monthly basis. And so it's important you think, who can you work with in the long term? Who understands your vision? Who wants to be part of creating that new structure for your business and can really articulate the product that you have and the problem that you solve with your product or service? And that is the journey that we're on right now. And so we have started looking at brand guidelines. What should my brand look like? What are the colors that we're going to use? And we're playing with different ones to see how the audience reacts. We've looked at different times of day. How often do we need to post? What do we need to post? And how do we engage our customers in the right way? And of course, this first part of the social media journey is very much about sharing the business journey, the journey to creating the brand, right? The importance of sharing that brand story. Later on in the journey, it will change slightly and we'll talk about the product and the impact the product has, how people feel, what their skin is like, what all my friends experience as my early adopters, what our first set of customers experience as the second set of adopters, and so on. But it's important you get your team in place that understand the vision and are willing to grow the brand with you. And I think for me, that is essential. And that is what I have found with my Fiverr freelance team at MGX Media. They've definitely helped me to understand what I want for the future of my social media and to think about the structures that I create and the consistency for me to achieve my goal. Now, if you've been watching this series from the start, you'll know I'm very goal-oriented. I've created the goal for the brand to do 6 figures in 6 months, but I also have a goal for my social media. I want to 10x my following, okay? I want to get far more people following me across social media because I know that will have an impact not just on the number of products I can sell in this skincare brand, but also on my personal brand and other work that I do. In the past, I have been very okay with the fact that I don't have massive following, but I have, or I would consider I would consider myself to be fairly influential to the people that follow me, right? I feel that I help them, I support them, I give them great insight and information. So I'm quite influential, but I'm not a big influencer, right? That's probably the best way to put it. I don't have the biggest following, but I have a unique set of fans, a unique audience who really understand what I'm doing and how it helps them. And I think that's important too. So it's not just about the numbers. It's not just let me get 200,000 followers, but they never engage. It's about getting the engaged audience who really love what you do, are on the journey and want to buy from you. So those are some of the things I'm really thinking about as I'm on this journey to building my business from the ground up and build a fantastic team of experts who can help me on the journey. So now, let me share with you the checklist. So if you're watching this and you're thinking about what you need to do and what steps you need to take next, I would say the first step is to think about what social media support you need. What platforms are you going to choose to use? You don't have to use them all. It can be very time consuming. So what platforms do you think will be best suited to the audience that you are trying to direct traffic to and that you think will resonate with the content that you share? Then you want to think about how much budget you want to allocate to that social media management, because you can then find someone who can align with that budget. And look, the people I found were anywhere from a few £100s to a few £1,000s per month. So you really want to think about where your budget fits within that spectrum. And then you want to think about how much control you want to give. Do you just want them to create the content and you give it to you for you to schedule, for you to put out? Or do you want that full management? Do you want them to create the content and schedule and post the content and interact and send DMs and find new audiences and? It really does depend on your budget and how much you want to put into it. And then, of course, have that meeting. Speak to the different social media people, look at their portfolio and see which ones really will align with what your plans are for the business. Because a social media management team can really help you to take your time back away from being on social media and allow you to focus on that business development. And that is what is so important. I could be great on social media. I do great stuff on social media. I could probably edit myself, but it takes me away from doing what I'm good at. And it's important to think about how you manage your time and how you apportion your time to help you build that brand. So that is it from me this week. I hope you are enjoying this series of From the Ground Up. And I really want to hear from you. I want to know how you're doing. How are you finding sourcing your team of freelancers? And how is it going building your brand with all of the tips I'm sharing? And of course, are you excited to try my new skincare brand? Let me know below in the comments. I want to hear from you. And if you are working on building your brand, have a look at my Fiverr homepage where you can find out more about the team that I am building. I will see you next week.